got that. Oh, it's in. Rather than betting on goal. Yeah, they're like out. One extremely recent stuff. Right, okay. Well, told me this one. Yes, that's what people probably buy that. Well, what's happening? Okay,
Here?
Hey guys, just very quickly, Graham has unfortunately lost his voice, so he wasn't going to be much use in here. So Rene's come in to deputise. I guess we'll start with questions and follow-ups. If anyone wants to get started, Vince, I'm looking at you to maybe kick things off, and we'll move around from there.
Rene, what are your thoughts on the game? Does it feel like an opportunity missed tonight, given the strength of the performance?
Yeah, I think so. Having said that, I think we'd be very, very proud of this performance. Sometimes in football you play games and the results are not going for you, and then you try to look for what the causes are. But this is, I think, one of those losses where you can be really, really proud of the performance. I mean, we played against an absolutely strong, very strong nation. You know, if you look at, they've obviously got a very big game coming up in a few days against Italy, as we all know. But they can field two world-class teams, without a shadow of a doubt. And if you look at the players where they play, you know, what leagues they play, what clubs they play, and if you then see where we have been coming from as Australia, obviously I worked with Graham now for 5 years, and what we've done, and if you look over the nearly last 12 months to where we come from, qualifying through the 2 playoff games, then the World Cup, which was great, where we would play France, Tunisia, Denmark, Argentina, and even in leading up to this game where we played strong opposition, Ecuador twice, Argentina again, and Mexico, and now England. This was by far the best performance. You know, I think we were very well organised, very well structured. The players played with courage and bravery when we could, and with a bit of more luck, we could have scored, you know, at least 2 goals.
How did Arnie lose his voice? What was he doing?
Well, I've tried to warn him. He says, you are in a stadium here that probably holds, you know, more than 80,000 people. Nobody will hear you, you know, but that is his passion. You know, Arnie is so passionate about Australian football, you know, about the young players and about the national team. And he can't help himself, but he paid the price tonight.
What did you learn about the team tonight to go out there in front of 80,000 people, particularly some of the younger players who, there's a lot of players with 5 to 10 caps in that squad who didn't really look out of place?
I think if you look a bit further than that, you have to give those boys an enormous credit. You know, the bravery that they have, and I think it's the mentality that stands out for us as an Australian nation. We can go toe to toe with all the big nations. We are just trying to find that extra bit of quality to really put them to the sword, you know, and that is what we're looking for. But like I said, we keep trying to find new young players to bring in, you know, to making sure that we keep developing and we keep, you know, growing as a team. And we've grown a lot again today, for sure.
And just lastly from me, it's the second game that Kai Rolls has played at left back. What's the sort of rationale with testing him in that position, and is that something you'll continue to do?
Well, no, it's always good to have players that can play in multiple positions, you know, and we've had, obviously, I think Graham has stated that a few times, that is difficult for us in the windows of September or October, that we can draw from Australian players. We've got the A-League hasn't started, so those players weren't fit enough. That was the case also with Aziz Behic at the time when we played Mexico. We know that Kai can play there. Obviously, we have good conversations with players when we try them in different positions. Kai is very comfortable there. And with Cam Burgess coming in, you know, to see what we can do there. And again, Cam Burgess, again, outstanding performance with him again, with Harry Suter at the back. So it's another option for us. So very pleased with that performance as well.
Might open it up to anyone else who's got questions. Ian?
What do you think of Goodwin tonight? I mean, he was particularly outstanding. Playing Saudi these days, but clearly it's not affected his...
No, Craig is one of those, you know, footballers who's got this lovely touch, this finesse, and also the great intelligence that he carries into the game. And we've seen him in the World Cup. Obviously, he's made that move to Saudi, but luckily he's played enough games for us to select him. You know, because that's what we're looking at. Match minutes are important for players to be, to be fit. But again, like I said, today every single performance was outstanding. There was not one player that we could discuss, listen, we need to stop him or stop him. Any substitutions we made was because people were running out of energy and we have to bring some other players on. But now it was fantastic to see him back in camp and fantastic to see him play the way that he did.
Zach, over to you.
Thanks, mate. What was the feeling? You talked a little bit about the quality. You know, England's second team is international world-class standard. What was the feeling between you and Arnie having to respond to the substitutes that they made in particular? I mean, what was that moment like, seeing the list of players that they were bringing on?
Well, we expected that was going to happen. But the one thing I think that we respect everybody, but we don't fear anybody. That is, I think, the biggest thing. And we knew that if Gareth Southgate could have gone about this game in two ways. You know, he could have gone about it to start a strong side and then start to filter them out, or start, and rightly so, to maybe for him to look at some other players and then making sure that you bring some other players on, you know, that he wanted to see on the pitch as well. But without a shadow of a doubt, he's got world-class players in every position. But for us, I think if you look back, and I think we need to look at the credit for ourselves, we had a fantastic game plan. We were very well organised. And there's not many national teams, I tell you that have the courage to press and to go and to press against big teams. Because I tell you, most of the national team coaches, they think they haven't got enough contact time with the team, so they opt for a more, you know, calm sort of approach, you know, to sort of defend it. We always go full out, we press where we can, and I think that is admirable from our side.
Just looking forward to the next game in a couple of days' time. Obviously, you've given out a couple of debuts in this one, a couple of those younger players getting some valuable minutes at the end there. How much of the talk has been around rotating the squad for the next one? What could we expect to see?
Yeah, it's again, I think Arnie said it before, this game against England, it's a game, you know, a game at the time. Same now, up to now we can look back, but then concentrate on New Zealand, another big game, you know, sort of a derby, so there's always special. And we're playing for something as well. Now, we've got a squad. Obviously, we will have a look at all the players that have played and how they're going to come out of it. But again, we take that game as serious as we took it here against England. And like I said, I know Arnie. He's so passionate. He is devastated at the fact that we lost. You know, where I say, listen, you have to look beyond that loss, because the benefits are the respect that we've earned and the perception that we've given to a lot of people watch that game. We now need to look at New Zealand, and we're going to go out there with only one reason to win it.
Just one last one from me. Ryan Strain, I mean, sensational in his first start, not his first appearance, obviously, but his first start. Had a really, you know, tricky time out there, but came through it really well. Just a note on him, Matt. Yeah,
again, it is sometimes, you know, and the one thing as well is because sometimes you think to yourself, what are these players thinking when they see those names on a piece of paper? Because they watch them every week, whether in the Premier League or other big leagues or in the Champions League, and then they face them. You know, but I think it's all part of the preparation, and again, that the detail that we give to those players to making sure that they're well prepared. And you could see that Ryan was well prepared, and he dealt with it really well.
Any further questions elsewhere? Everyone happy? All right, great. We might call it there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Really close to the mic.
Okay, guys, just a reminder to raise your hand and also use the microphone available when you ask your question. Okay, who would like to go first?
Hello, Gareth. Forgive me for getting to this particular point first, but Jordan Henderson was booed when he was substituted. It seems to be the Saudi thing that's got people upset. What did you make of it?
I really don't understand it. He's a player who, I think, 79 caps now for England. His commitment and what he's delivered for England is exceptional. His role within the group on and off the pitch is phenomenally important. He's the one that, you know, has taken the likes of Jude Bellingham under his wing as soon as he came in the squad, provides a brilliant role model for all of the group in his professionalism, in his approach to every part of his work. So, some people decided to boo. I really don't understand what that is for. We've got players in England shirts. Yeah, come on. We play Italy here Tuesday. Let's get behind this team. I know we weren't at our best tonight, but that was due to a lot of changes that we made, and we gave the players that we put out there a really difficult task, because to be cohesive with so many changes is tough. But I would just say this is a team that are delivering a lot, and they all deserve everybody's support.
And it's Nizar. Thanks.
Hi Gareth, just to follow that up, do you see anything in his performance that suggests he's playing in a lesser league, or do you still see him at sort of the same level? And if he is playing, if it is a lesser league, do you feel like you have to pick him just so he's playing in competitive matches with his national team?
No, I mean we are reviewing all of the games. I think he knitted things together. He held things together for quite a bit today. There were a lot of... we didn't have as many physically strong players on the pitch today. That was the team that we needed to pick to preserve people, to give people opportunities. And so you need leadership. We didn't have a lot of experienced leadership on the field. We didn't have a lot of caps on the field, so Hendo's influence before the game, during the game, was hugely important, and he helped other players to get through the game. No question about that.
Next question. Just Andy Dunn. Yeah.
Just a quick one, Gareth, on Jordan Henderson. I mean, do you think, for example, that maybe him promoting the Saudi Arabian bid for the 2034 World Cup might have had an impact in fans' minds? I just think that was a good thing for him to do.
What has that got to do with supporting a guy that's wearing an England shirt?
He just might not agree with his principles.
Well, yeah. I don't really know where we're heading with everything. I'm hugely impressed with the impeccable values and decisions that everybody in our country is making then. Clearly, I don't understand it. I know what's created it, and I know why it's happened, but it defies logic to me that you would give a player who's playing and putting his heart and soul into playing for England, why boo him? How's that going to help him or help the team?
Matt Law.
Gareth, hi. Were you pleased that the pre-match minute silence and the respect paid towards the victims of Israel and Palestine all passed sort of successfully, as it were, without any interruptions? And just also, are you aware that the FA has also received some quite heavy criticism from the Israeli FA in terms of the not lighting the arch and other things?
I was really pleased that the moment of silence was respected. It's a bit of an indictment on society that we're all standing holding our breath on any of those things whenever we're at football grounds around the country. So make of that what we will. No, I wasn't aware that there'd been criticism from the Israeli FA.
Paul?
What did you like about tonight's performance? I mean, you won the game, a lot of changes. There must have been things that you saw in there that you also can take positives from.
Yeah, I mean, I think two debutants, so important first steps for them. I mean, Levi is a young defender. We know he's not a left back first choice, but he's filling that slot for his club. What we tried to do was start with the team where everybody was pretty much in the roles they're playing with their clubs, so that it was as smooth as it could be, but in the knowledge that we didn't have a lot of caps on the field, we didn't have a lot of leadership. Normally we'd be putting one or two of those lads in with a lot more experience and a lot more continuity, so it was extremely hard for that group of players, and it was completely understandable. We weren't as cohesive, and we knew that was a risk. I thought at times we would use the ball better than we did, but we didn't. So, and then out of possession again, when you're not used to working together as a group and the pressure's not quite right, teams can play through you and you can look vulnerable on the break. So, I thought Ollie in particular, I thought his movement was good. He did well for his chance where he went round the keeper that was cleared off the line. He was in absolutely the right position to take his chance with the goal. Trent we wanted to look at in the position he's playing at his club. Difficult for him to find space in there tonight. In the end, he found more space dropping just to the side of the block rather than in there. I think at times that's a learning process he's going through, drifting into that midfield and finding the space. And then when we popped him in there for the last 20 minutes as one of the two in there, I thought him and Calvin found better angles, and with the quality of John and Kieran coming on with the ball as well, we used the ball much better. We had complete or more complete control of the game. So 30 minutes for John Stones was also very important for us. To get him onto the pitch. We're managing that recovery carefully. We're combining really well with his club on all of that. But he's a world-class player, and it was great to get him up and running.
Thanks. Next question.
Hi, Gareth. I just wanted to ask what you thought of Lewis Dunk's performance and whether you see him perhaps being a kind of long-term partner to John Stones in the future.
I think he did some things very well. I mean, his clearance off the line was critical, and he's when he's defending his box, he is swashbuckling like that. You know, he hurls his body in and he gets important blocks. At times he used the ball well. You know, he is composed. He's developed so much as a player since he was last with us, with Graham and then with Roberto. The work that they're doing. So you know, he's taken good steps forward in the 2 games he's played.
Thanks. James Ollie. 3 more questions left.
Hi Gareth, sorry to go back to Jordan, but I think you said in an earlier answer, you said, I know what's created it and I know why it's happened. What created it and why did it happen?
No, there's nothing to be gained by going over it, really. We are where we are. I've spoken and said what I've said. That's it.
Thanks, James. To the back there.
Hi, Gareth. What were the key tactical decisions that you believe contributed to England's victory today?
I don't think it was a win because of how we played. We had enough quality on the pitch to be able to create a couple of important moments. But, you know, we know that all the changes, the inexperience of the team, it was really tough for the players that played. It set them a really difficult challenge. So it was great that they got the win. It was important to keep winning because if we lose the game or you give a goal away at the end, then you leave here on a bit of a low, and it sets the game up now with Italy, which is, in the end, it's very hard to prepare the squad when they know ultimately this week really is about the Italy game, and it's impossible to dress that up any other way. So, but for the players that played, for some of them their Wembley debut, for some of them their England debut, massively important nights for them.
I'll finish with Simon Peach here. Thanks.
And just following up on the Italy game, one, do you have any knocks or anything that you're dealing with, and two, how are you seeing that match a few days out, and how important is it for everyone to be together as one on Tuesday?
Yeah, no, I mean, some of the players are training now on the pitch, but when I left the dressing room, no issues, which is great. That was another priority for tonight. Italy look revitalised under Spalletti. They were excellent against Ukraine last month. They're a top 10 nation. We've talked about these top 10 games, the importance of them, the challenge of them. We have the chance to qualify for the European Championships with 2 games to spare, but also it's a great test of where we are as a team, and it's a challenge we're really looking forward to.
Thanks, guys. We'll end it there.
Okay, thank you.